Hey, what's up you guys? This is Junior Trader, and in this video I'll be talking about, from the lens of technicals, should you buy CrowdStrike before earnings or should you wait and see how things goes post earnings on CrowdStrike? So let's jump right into it. Once I also let you know, none of this is any financial advice and it's only for education purposes. So now, if you are unaware about what happened with CrowdStrike, this huge gap down, guys, it's all due to a glitch that they pushed into their production release, and that led to the collapse of all the industries, healthcare, banking, anyone that was quite relying on Windows, and they were relying on CrowdStrike on their system. Right, and if you want to know more details, there are a lot of articles that talks about it. To me, it doesn't matter much as for what the news is, but yes, this dark cloud would hang on top of CrowdStrike, not forever, but there's a possibility for until the earnings, and the earnings are on the 27th of August is when they have their earnings. So it's still pretty much a month out from now. So how should we buy before that or after? And why do we even buy this, right? What's the point, junior trader? Why are we even talking about CrowdStrike? Should we buy or right? What? So guys, if you have seen this video of mine, and if you haven't, I would highly suggest go to my channel. And I did a video on this CrowdStrike, don't miss this buying opportunity. This talks about my thesis and reasoning behind why I'm interested to buy into it. So check out this video. That will give you a background, all premises of what I'm even talking as a follow-up in this video. So let's talk now through the lens of technicals. Is it worth it right now? So it's a falling knife right now. Okay, there's just right now I'm not seeing any uptrend on this thing, but what I'm seeing is that it's slowing down here. So when things slows down like that falling knife and we start to break levels to the upside that I'll talk about in just a second, there is at least a rebound potential. But this whole CrowdStrike thing is, for me, guys, a long-term investment portfolio. You can still trade it. I'll provide you trading levels as well, which is very apparent. If you have been following my videos, you know what to look for. But as for CrowdStrike long-term investment, I talked about you can average cost into it. It's a DCA play right now. Now, this thing, guys, just in a summary about that video, a couple of things. I mean, it's not a full summary of that video that I did. I highly recommend check out that video of mine. But one point I brought up in that video is that there is nothing that has changed in the underlying architecture of CrowdStrike that there's a vulnerability. There hasn't been any vulnerability. It's just it was their mistake when they pushed their code to the production. It was an internal product mistake. It's not that they have been breached by a hacker group or something and everything is at risk. CrowdStrike is just so big of a behemoth that you can see when so many industries have crashed in a single day just due to one software glitch, you can see how much of monopoly this thing has, right? This thing was just, crawling its way under the radar, CrowdStrike, right? Like it's in so many systems. It's the market cap is so big, right, of this thing. I mean, it's market scope, it's influence in the market, right? So this is though a dark cloud that will hang on it, but I don't think that it would impact this for the long term. And that's why I'm saying if you want to DCA into it, it's your choice. I'm just providing my opinion here, but this is a thing for that. Now, coming back to the question, before earnings or after earnings. So let's first take a look at, let's say if you risk here buying before earning into your DCA plan, dollar cost average plan, what if after earnings it gaps down? Let's talk about that scenario first. So how much, and we can use past data for that. How much does CrowdStrike moves through the earnings? So let's take a look at last earnings. And right over here, it gapped up to how many dollars? Next day it opened up, it's $22, all right? Let's take a look at the earnings prior to that. And it, I think, gapped down back then. Oh no, it still gapped up. and then it sold off. That was quite a big move, but it sold off, so we can average down at like $50 or so. That's quite a good move though. And then the earnings before that, we sorry, that yeah, this is the one, and we gapped up, and that was a minuscule gap. So it's all over the place. So yeah, I mean, some of the earnings has only gapped a little bit. In some earnings, you can see this one, the last one, it was $22, and then this one was this earnings over here was pretty much, it was falling, selling off, and the next day it opened up quite high. This is the the open price, right? So oops, sorry. Yeah, and then it sold off. So yeah, so it's a little bit all over the place. So let's say on average, let's say $30 move is what we can expect on this, on the earning. Let's say it's gaps down. Let's just assume this is where the price is and it gaps down. So $30 will put it somewhere down here, 221, right? So if that's the risk you can plan into your DCA, provided that, let's say if you're planning to go 100 shares into it, maybe go like 50 shares and leave 50 shares to see for your DCA that, okay, if it really falls after earnings, then I can add more. Otherwise, if it goes up after earnings, then I'll already have 50 shares, that's fine, right? That's something you can do, right? But again, so what I'm trying to say is that technically though it's negative, and after earnings, again, no one knows what's going to happen through the earnings. But what I want to point out that, guys, is there is no guarantee of the guidance call here. But so what do I mean by that? Now, here when CrowdStrike was falling, right? And that's why I say no one knows what's going to happen through the earnings. CrowdStrike was falling, right? But their forward-looking earnings were always going higher and higher, and they were always beating the previous revenue and earnings. So, but the price was falling, and that's why I trade with the technicals, because market will sell you any narrative. It doesn't matter. All right, earnings does affect the stock price, the chart, and everything. But once the trend is established, the trend can stay like that, right? And so right now, again, this thing, let's now talk about if there's any trade that needs to be taken before earnings or even position starting. I think with a CrowdStrike, if you have a long-term plan, yes, DCA can be started even where it is right now, but don't go all in. Start slowly and slowly chipping in, and if it starts to go up, that's your profit. You can add more if you like. You can just stay with whatever you have, and if it falls, you just DCA into it for the CrowdStrike, in my opinion. After earnings or before earnings, I already told you the plan. Don't go all of your plan position for CrowdStrike before earnings. Start in a little bit, and if after earnings it falls more, you can DCA that remaining position that you were planning. And if it just goes up, then, well, just stay with your initial position, or you can add more. That's up to you. But yeah, again, nothing is guaranteed through the earnings. This may not fall just $30, maybe can fall $50, $60, right? But, and that's the decision you have to make for yourself. But as for the technicals here, we have what, 200, well, so we are still in the lower highs, lower lows, right? Now, rebound, why do I think if a rebound has to happen, that may happen? Well, because as we are falling, we are a little bit slowing down here, right? So these things usually when we have a crash, but then every time we are making lower highs still, but slowly and slowly, those lower highs are, the difference between the two lower highs and two lower lows is getting less and less every time. And then we are trying to gap up and selling off, but still closing above the previous closing day. So this starts to show us that, okay, some momentum is coming on this thing now, right? So what for that? Now, if CrowdStrike can get above this 273 and 22 cents without falling further, this rebound can continue back to definitely $300 level is one of the levels, but I would say well, 290 to put it simply, because 200 days moving average. I won't bet more than that in this rebound right now, but that would be it, and then we'll see what the price action does here, because this is where this recent resistance is as well, right? So but yeah, I won't be surprised if rebound comes, but So that's pretty much it what you are watching for the upside on this. And if it breaks the levels to the downside, you can expect next legs down. But I just feel like looking at the price action that rebound may come as we continue to break this level, especially 261.98 to the upside. It can go all the way to 200 days moving average. And I just think still that market is overreacting to that whole, this CrowdStrike, shenanigan happened. So, but I think, yeah, this thing would eventually, not saying that it's just going to recover and straight go like that up, but this thing has a potential to eventually crawl its way up. But this is a long-term DCA plan that, as I explained in this video, you can look into it that way. Again, nothing is financial advice, just sharing my opinion, guys. Please do your own thing. If you found the video helpful and valuable for yourself, please hit the like, subscribe. And with that, I'll see you in my next videos. All right, take care. Bye.